Hey, Monica here with King's Titan Homestead, and I just I had the TV to myself, so I did a kind of a binge watching of YouTube channels, and there's some pretty amazing homesteading sites out there. I was on one that was from Arkansas. Oh my gosh, gardens were absolutely stunning. And I'm following her around the garden tour and all this. And all of a sudden she mentions 80 inches of rain. And I was like, what? Oh, shit. I heard that wrong. So I, I rewound it and I listened to it again. Gosh, I swear she said 80 inches of rain. So I looked it up. Sure enough, average rainfall for Arkansas is something like 50 to 60 inches of rain, depending on where you're at. And last year they had 80 inches, above normal rainfall. Well, that's why your gardens are gorgeous, girl. Jeez, I was like, oh my goodness. Last year, my location 4.98. I won't even round it up and say 5 inches. That's how disgusted I am about the amount of rain we've had. So it's wonderful to watch those homesteading videos. Oh, I was watching one from Alaska too. They're out there foraging all kinds of things, all kinds of wonderful things. And I know how to forage here in Arizona. But just looking at that, and they just did that like a couple days ago. And I'm like, wow, it's so dry. I won't even forage here right now because the desert is hurting so bad that I won't take it from the animals. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And they're saying that our saguaros might be having a robusting, blooming, bursting season, just going absolutely nuts and crazy with their blooms because it's a last ditch effort for survival. They actually think that the saguaros are telling us that they could be dying and that they're going to try to throw off seeds to kind of save the species. It's like, are you kidding? This is getting crazy. And yet there's other places. And of course, these are the homestead channels with the most views. And I don't blame, I don't blame people because, we want to see those oases and we want to see people just be able to throw a seed or a plant in the ground and not have it struggle, not have to water it on a continuous basis, daily, twice a day sometimes, not have to worry about all the animals eating it and insects. And it's just crazy what we have to deal with here. So I said, screw this. I got to turn this thing off because I'm daydreaming about how gorgeous my garden can be. And it just can't be that. And I know that. So I'm off to reality and back to seeing what I can grow for sustainability here in my climate, Southern Arizona. Today was only 98 degrees with no rain. Stay hydrated, my friends, and let's get out there and see what we can grow and harvest in our region. Oh, mesquite trees are still full. I can just hear the bees buzzing. Y'all gotta see this. Look at this. That's a loofah. She's getting big. She should be because she's the only one on there. None of the other fruit have been setting. And I don't know why, because the bees have been working it. I don't know if it's too hot or what. I know loofahs like the heat. I think I'm gonna maybe give them a little fertilizer. Well, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the end of May 30th in Arizona heat. It's warm out here. I'm out for the afternoon watering the garden. I'm pulling some pea vines. The peas have had it. And the reason why I had not pulled them yet is because I've got all kinds of beautiful pods on here. Look at all these pods. I'm harvesting the seeds. So now I don't have to buy pea seeds. Look at that. Take a peek. Whoops. Might have a volunteer next year. But yeah, I don't have to buy any. Right there they are. And so that's something that I'm going to be trying to do on my little journey, my road to self-sufficiency, self-sustainability. Heirloom varieties with seed harvesting. And if anybody tried to buy seeds during the COVID shutdowns and everything, I know some states had problems where they wouldn't even allow people to buy seeds. And then in other places, everybody was just putting in gardens and you just couldn't even buy seeds. I mean, they were sold out. And so I just says, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and save my seeds, and then I'll have seeds to trade, give away, and I won't even have to worry about ordering from the seed catalog, because I don't know if you guys are like me. I can't just order one packet. I get in there and then I start dreaming, and I start buying stuff that is more of an experimental thing, because, like, for instance, I bought pink celery from Baker's Creek, you know, and their seed packets are like $4 a packet. And I mean, I still got a bunch of seeds because I only put like a few in, but I didn't even get to, I think I got to harvest just a little bit of it. It never really did much, not like the celery that I had grown before, the regular green celery. And that stuff was fabulous one year. And Dan even said, he goes, man, store-bought celery doesn't even compare to the flavor of the, you know, the celery you just grew. I mean, because when I put it in my potato salads, it just made them pop. The flavor was just fabulous. And this year I grew celery, and it was like horrible. I don't know why. It just wasn't a good year for celery. And maybe it was because of maybe it was the species that I chose. I don't know. But so I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna pick and harvest my seeds from my snap peas, actually, and figure out what I'm gonna grow in its place. Here with the heat, there's really not much more stuff that I can put in. You're supposed to be able to plant seeds like chilies and eggplants and things all the way through June. So we'll see. I have a lot of vines that I have not gotten in the ground. I got way ahead of myself and I planted a lot of seedlings. And then I didn't have time to put them in the garden. So they're probably stunted, but I just can't, you know, I can't purposely kill a plant. I can kill a plant. Not on purpose, but so I need to get some of those in the ground, and so maybe that's what I'm going to probably do on this back wall here, because as you can tell, I'm inside of a little structure so that we can put in shade for these poor plants. And so I'll show you around here a little bit more in just a second. Oh, you know, I decided to pick some more of the seed pods from the peas, and the reason why I figured I'm going to turn the video back on is because this kind of reminds me of when I was a kid. I remember one year we were in Wisconsin, and I was playing outside, and I saw my dad go down I think he stopped. There was like a row of columbines. These are pea harvesting vehicles, and the harvesters were going down the road next to our house, and my dad goes down there, and then next thing you know, when they were done, they stopped by our house and they were pulling all of the vines out. I don't remember exactly, but it looked like, from what I remember and the way my story goes, and maybe my parents will tell me it didn't happen that way, but what I remember is, so my dad had them stop on their way back through, and we pulled out all of the vines that got stuck up inside the columbines, and we actually then shucked peas for a long time. And then I remember my mom blanched them and froze them. And I remember we didn't have one of those fancy freezing, what do they call that, where it sucks the air out. I can't even remember what the name of that thing is right now. We didn't have one of those. We used a straw in the baggie and sucked the air out of the bag and twisted it closed as fast as we could so it didn't get any air into it. And that is how we froze our peas. And so this is not something I'm just learning how to do. This is something I grew up doing. My family made sure that from my parents to my grandparents and my aunts and uncles, everybody had a little bit of a say in teaching us kids some of the ways of actually being self-sustainable today. And I know that that's being lost, seriously lost. It's like a lost art form. And people call it lost arts. This is not lost arts, it's lost living. Like, this, it's just really sad that people don't know how to do this. One of my friends noted to me when she came over to the garden, she's like, "Oh, you've got space for this and you got space for that." And I'm like, "No, I don't. I can't pick that yet. I can't harvest that yet." Because as you can tell, this here is collard greens, and I harvest the seeds. So it does take a lot of space if you do seed saving. But it'll be worth it, because I got over, packets worth of seeds in here, and now I don't have to buy peas for next year. This is some of the volunteer cilantro, and I just noticed got a little honeybee working on it. Yeah, I volunteered in the strawberry bed, which, as you can tell, the strawberries are going absolutely bonkers. We have all kinds of runners coming out, and look at the size of these babies. Wow. Some beautiful strawberries. This one, look at that. Oh my goodness. I'm in southern Arizona. I'm growing strawberries. What I do is I try to tuck the strawberries underneath some of my grasses that I harvest and use for bedding. But you can see there's another strawberry popping up there. They're kind of popping up all over the place. Some, of course, weeds and grasses. But I was looking over here, and look at that. Underneath here is another cilantro. Really don't want that there. And I just look at another runner. I weighted it down with a rock so it would take root. I love these seascape strawberries here for southern Arizona. Well, it's at least a little shade. So what I did, I was cleaning in the warehouse and I found something that I had bought at, I think, a thrift store or a yard sale or something, and it was just one of those triangular pieces of shade cloth. But I definitely got some much happier plants today. I think that that's going to work really great. I just have to be able to get in between in order to pull the watermelon out, and it's going to go, we got to pick up all the bottles, but we're going to pull like the watermelon and the candy roaster squash and stuff like that. That's all the vining things, actually, the vining. So I believe that's a Cream of Saskatchewan and 2 Moon and Stars, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, I'll have to look back at my video recordings. But literally what I want to do is take the vines up and out and toss them that way, and then have them sprawl out into that larger pathway in the back. What do we got over here? This is a Sandia, little scrawny little thing. I think they'll do better now that there's a little bit of shade. They definitely, I just added more of this type of the alfalfa pellets and the wood pellets into this, and so now look at that, it stays moist. That is so fantastic. And I watered it yesterday morning, and I have a lot of friends that are telling me they're having to water their gardens twice a day, where I think that this is going to keep me from having to do it twice a day. And so I'm going to just go to the feed store and get a bunch more. I did check into, another friend told me that he didn't think that the alfalfa pellets added any benefit. But as you can see, when they break down, they're actually adding organic material into the soil. And I did do the research, and it actually is a 5% nitrogen source. So yeah, definitely going to continue with the alfalfa pellets. Looks like I have a stray mesquite tree popping up over there. I got to get to her before she gets too crazy. Don't want her growing in this spot. Okay, I had just showed you one of my water saving techniques, and here is my other one. I actually fill water up and do a wicking procedure, wicking process. These are peppers in 1 gallon planters, and take a peek at that, Anaheim. So if you don't have that much space and you need to do it all in planters, and you're in Arizona, this is a great way to do it. I'm thinking about, these black planters actually suck. I think they retain too much heat. Peppers don't mind that, but like the sorrel, might want it gets a little red on the edges. Plus it's not in shade. I mean, this is all direct sun right here. But this really works great. Ever since I moved the peppers, I didn't have any more space. I'm running out of space, and I've got some other things yet to plant. But yeah, look at them. They're really doing well with this wicking. And this, I found this at a thrift store. They don't have holes in them, so I'm really not sure if they're just like planter boxes or what. But there's no holes, so it holds water, and it holds these 1 gallon planters perfectly. There's also some pink ones, not my color of choice, but they were cheap. And so I have lemongrass and tomatillo in some of those. Okay, so this is my Arizona currant bush, and I still have it just in a pot. I think I'm going to transplant it to a larger pot and continue with the wicking process that I use. But look at this. It's supposed to be an orange currant, and I think that's orange. I'm like, is it orange? Do I dare? Oh my goodness. wait until it falls into my fingers. I'm worried that the birds are going to beat me to it. I would really like, I've got more coming. There's more down here. So I don't know if I should go ahead and try that. It's kind of got a mushiness to it. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna do it. Okay, I pulled it off. Not ready yet. A little sour. I need to wait. There's another one right here. We're gonna wait till that one is bright orange. We're not eating them that soon. Woo! Okay. Well, at least I ate one. We'll see if I get more. Okay, I am wrapping up the day making some dinner. Very simple, extremely simple. Just some of my canned venison mixed with some caramelized onions that I've already got. So it's gonna be like a roast, basically, with some onions. And then we have a side of zucchini from Cheryl's garden, as I mentioned before. I didn't get my garden in time. It's there, but it's just a little bit behind. And Cheryl had some beautiful big zucchinis to share. So I've got some zucchini going, and for an appetizer, I put together some hard-boiled eggs from the chickens, along with some homemade pickle relish that was from Amanda. And so that's dinner. It's very simple. I got a little bit of everything going on, and I'll serve that with some jalapeno stuffed olives, and maybe some fermented garlic, honey garlic. So yeah, just having some condiments on the side. So that's going to be dinner. So stay tuned. Sometimes I'll show you how I make my canned venison. We definitely will be having some of the fermented honey garlic. Cheryl actually made this batch, introduced me to it as well. So I'm really excited about making a batch, and I'll show you guys that. It's very, very simple. And what else do we have there? That's about it. So I hope you enjoyed it today, and see ya again soon.